Well, for starters, we didn't have testing when it came out. We made technical mistakes. WHO rated us, I think, as the top large country in preparedness for a public health crisis, but we weren't. Second, we took a long time to respond at every level. And now we have a partial lockdown where some states are having people sheltered in place and others aren't. I don't even know what that means. I don't really see how you're getting out of it without a consistent national response.
What about, though, on the economic side? What rating out of 10 do you give the bailout bill, the CARES Act, sorry, I should call it, what Treasury's been doing and what the Fed and others have been doing?
That's a different matter. The public health response is the 3. And that's the most important thing here, of course. But the macroeconomic response has been very strong. What the Federal Reserve has done, thank goodness, we still have an independent Federal Reserve, which some people don't want. And the $2 trillion stimulus, it's not going to be the last, but absolutely excellent. So our macroeconomic response is excellent, but it's a little bit like you're in a war. And you're not doing a very good job fighting the war, but you're doing a good job maintaining the economy. You really need to do better on the war.
This time is different, Ken. I mean, the title of your book, a phrase that, always haunts investors. It's never different. I know you looked at the, 8 centuries of financial folly and all the crises and the depression and the economies, but is this time truly different in terms of what we're looking at here when it comes to our economy and our markets?
There have been financial crises that get set in place by some sort of catastrophe, but the global nature of this is really hard to find outside of a war. You might say, at best, this is a combination of the 1970s oil shock because there's a supply shock and the 2008 financial crisis, the depth of the demand shock. But really, I think you have to go back at least to the Great Depression and maybe past to see a dive globally of this speed and depth going on all over the world. We didn't really have numbers before the 1930s. It's hard to know, but it's certainly something extraordinary. It's still in play. They're trying to contain the aftermath, the financial crisis, but emerging markets, I think, are certainly going to get cut to their knees already. And it's just hard to know until we know when we're getting out of it, how bad it's going to be in the advanced countries.
You've been critical of sort of ever expanding government deficits and debt piles in the past. Do you think that expanding those at this time is the wrong approach, or do you accept that it kind of doesn't really matter how much it costs in the long term, that you've got to spend the money in the short term when you face a crisis like this?
Oh, I think we're absolutely doing the right thing. I mean, the whole point of trying to maintain a sound credit rating and not just, letting your budget debt go in, inexorably high forever. We certainly have a fiscal space, is to be able to respond very assertively in situations like this. We're well placed. Germany is well placed. I think the UK is well placed. Italy is not well placed. Many emerging markets are not. So, no, this is a war. And you really can't look at the other side. You have to get to it. Obviously, you want to spend the money sensibly, but I think by and large we are. No, there are many ways to get out of high debts. One of, many, many ways to get out of high debts. So we'll deal with that when we get there.